Hello students, welcome to class 11 physics class. Today we discuss Newton's third law. At the previous two videos we discussed the other two laws of Newton, first law and second law, and today we discuss the third law of Newton. And these are the topics or key points we discuss here. Forces and interactions. Force means a force is a push or pull of an object. Okay, we also studied the definition of force in class 8. Just once we recall this one, forces and interactions. A force is a push or pull of an object, and forces come in pairs. That means it will not exist as a single. So if action is there, then reaction also be there. During the push or pull, when you push a door, you also act one force on the door, and door also acts one force to you. So the forces always comes in pair, action and reaction, does not exist in single. Newton's third law, we know that whenever one object exert a force on a second object, that second object also exert an equal and opposite force on the first object. This is the third law. Action and reaction. Action is equal but opposite direction of reaction is equal to action. Its magnitude is same but in opposite direction. Most interaction depends on the friction, such as walking on a carpet, walking on a road. Where there is no friction, there may be no action force. Therefore, no reaction force and no interaction. From here, we also conclude that forces always exist in pair, not in single. If we consider there is a frictionless spring, that means there will be no action force. You does not apply any force on the ground, and that's why the ground also does not exist, and it does not act any force on you. So if no action is there, then reaction also be 0. That means we can say that there will be no interaction. So Newton's third law states that to every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Here if we consider the two objects A and B, okay, the forces on A by body B is equal to opposite to the force on the body B by A. So we consider two forces FAB and FBA. FAB is a force exerted on A by B, and FBA is a force exerted on B by A. According to the third law, that so if we consider FAB is a action, so FBA is a reaction. So these two are equal but in opposite direction. That's why we use the negative sign. FBA, AB equals to minus of FBA. So we conclude that the forces always exist in pairs. The two forces act simultaneously. Any one of them will be called action, another one will be called reaction. So here if you consider FBA will be the action, then FAB is the reaction. So any one you consider as an action, so then another one is a reaction. These two are the equal in magnitude but in opposite direction. That's why we use the negative sign. I hope it is clear. Identifying action and reaction. How we can identify which one is action and which one is reaction? There is some interaction in which action and reaction forces are hard to identify, such as falling object. Falling object, when a body falls some height. So suppose here in this if this is a ball, object A exert a force on B, and reaction is object B exert a force on A. That means here one force is weight, that is towards the gravity mg, another one is the air friction, that is called drag. So weight and drag, these two are, one is the action, another one is a reaction. Action and reaction, keep it in your mind, action and reaction takes place two different bodies, two different mass, not on a same body. So if two objects are there, so one object apply action, another one on another one on the another one there will be reaction, not on a same object. So if you consider the previous one, the ball, and the another one is the air. Okay, so the force is apply on air, that is air resistance, and air also apply the same force on the ball. So the action and reaction are equal. These two these are forces are equal, but this are must be taken in a different masses. Interaction forces are equal, but mass must be taken into account. When something moves towards earth moves a tiny bit back towards the object. However, earth is much more massive and does not move near as much. The flying object, little must equal to the weight of the object to make it fly. So in this figure you can understand this one. Just you keep it in your mind, action and reaction takes place in a different bodies, different masses. Another one example, that is horse cart problem, and that this is a very important problem. A horse, here the horse is attached, a cart is attached with a horse. The horse thinks there is only one interaction between himself and the cart, which he says will cancel. The farmer tells him that there are in fact two interaction forces, which also involves the earth pushing action on the horses, because one force also horse apply on the ground, and the ground also apply one force on the horse. So there will be another two forces or two interactions will be present, not only in between the cart and the horse. This is the explanation of this diagram. Okay. And here I will explain this one. In case of horse cart, the horse pushes the ground, as I will consider, or I will told that horse also apply one force to the ground also apply one backward force. So the horse pushes the ground with his foot in the backward direction by pressing the ground. As a result of this force of action, the ground also pushes the horse in the forward direction, and that's why we can walk on the ground, because of this friction. This is the friction. So here it will be horse, but it also same thing will be happens to us, and because of this we can walk, we can run on the ground. So we also apply one backward direction force by pressing the ground. The ground also pushes one force towards, and that's why we move in a forward direction, and here the horse also move in a forward direction. According to the Newton's third law of motion, the ground pushes the horse in forward direction. Thus, horse moves in a forward direction. As the cart is attached to the horse, the cart also move in a forward direction, because horse also move in a forward direction. So the cart also moved in a forward direction. So hence the horse pulls the cart. We can say that, or we can conclude that like this way. Fg is a ground force apply on a because of this the horse move in a forward direction. So Fh here, this is Fh. Okay, in this figure you see that this is Fh. Fh is a force exerted by horse on cart. When horse move in a forward direction, it also apply one force on the cart. That's why also cart also move in a forward direction. So we consider Fh is a force exerted by horse on cart. So cart also apply one force on the horse. So that is Fc, force exerted by cart on horse, because force does not exist in single, it always exists as a pair. So Fh and Fc, these are the action and reaction pair. These two are the equal but in a opposite direction, as shown in this figure. Here you see that Fh and Fc are equal but in a opposite direction. Another one force, that is Fg. Not only this force, this action and reaction force is not there. Another one, ground also apply one force, and because of this the horse move in a forward direction, that is Fg. force of ground on the horse. So in addition, there is a frictional force F that also exert on the cart. Here you see that one F, small f. Always when we talks about the friction is represented by small f. So as the ground also exert one force on the earth, one frictional force acts on also the cart, and because of this, cart also move in a forward direction, not only for the FH. So that will be frictional force. And the cart accelerate because the net force act, that is F equals to FH minus F. Due to this unbalanced force acting on it, the cart will accelerate. That means its velocity changes and it will move in a forward direction. So on the cart, two forces are applied. One is a frictional force, another one is a force exerted by horse. So the net force, that is FH minus F. As usual, the FH is greater than the frictional force. That's why net force F equals to FH minus F. The cart begins to move as soon as possible when FH is greater than F. And that's why we say that this is an unbalanced force. If these two forces are equal, then the net force acting on a cart is 0. Then cart will not accelerate and it will not move in a forward direction. It will remain at rest in its own position. But when the FH is greater than the F, one unbalanced force, balanced force means equal, net force is 0. But unbalanced, due to the unbalanced force, an object will move in a forward direction or will displace from its position. So whatever the force is exert on a body, that will be unbalanced force. And because of this, the body will displace from its position. So here also we conclude that FH, if greater than F, frictional force, then only the cart begins to move as soon as possible. So now if we consider the F dash, the net force acting on the horse, that is that this F, capital F, this is a FH minus F, this is a net force acting on a cart. Now the same two forces also act on a horse also. One is a ground force, another one is a FC, that is force exerted by cart. So if we consider F dash, that is a net force acting on a horse, that is equals to Fg minus Fc. So why Fg minus Fc? If Fg is greater than Fc, then only the horse move in a forward direction. So this is also, this F dash is also an unbalanced force which is applied on a horse. So two unbalanced forces apply on a horse, one is on the horse and another one is a cart, and that's why both are moving in a forward direction. So the horse will accelerate due to this unbalanced force. Also the cart is pulling the horse backward. The ground exert a forward force on the horse, hence it will accelerate. The action and reaction pair Fc and Fh do not cancel, as if we cannot say these two are equal but in opposite direction, that means they will cancel each other. If they will cancel each other, there will be no another force is not there, then we cannot find out the net force on us. So here the net force on a horse will be equal to the ground force, but it will not happen because the cart also apply one backward force. It will also pulling the horse in a backward direction. So we cannot say that Fc and Fh are the cancel each other. They act on two different bodies. They act, that already I discussed, that the action and reaction acts on a two different body or different mass. One is act on a cart, another one act on a horse. So these two are opposite direction, equal but opposite direction, but not cancel each other. Not cancel each other. Okay. Now you can explain this horse cart problem like this point wise also. So anything you can write either this like this way, Fg, Fc, this is a mathematical expression, or either the point wise, this the same thing it will be written over there. Just I will read it once. In the system of a horse pulling a cart pushes the ground, and the ground with a greater force than it pulls on the cart, there is a net force on the horse and the horse cart system accelerate. A equals to F by m from the second law. The forces are equal and opposite stated by Newton's third law, but they do not cancel out each other, that is Fh and Fc. They will equal but opposite direction, but does not cancel each other. They acts on a different bodies. The ground provides friction, that is called reaction force. Reaction by wheel cart is less than the horse feet pushing against the ground and the ground pushing back at the horse feet. The ground is important to the process because it pushes the forward equally on the horse's feet as well as the cart also. This is how horse move forward while the cart pulls backward on the horse. The system of the cart, horse and ground interact as a whole. The cart system interacts with the ground to move forward. The outside reaction, the ground to wheels of the cart is what pushes the system. So like this wise, if you write this point wise, you cannot explain with a mathematical. So as per my opinion, you write like this way with this notifications that FH, FC, then we can explain it in a easy language, and it will be very easy to you also, that how you can write. So that's why I will write the both of this point. So try to avoid this point wise, because here just normal statements is there. If you explain with a diagram and with the mathematical notification or that notations, then it is very easier for you. It is very easier for examiner also. So let's take some examples of the third law, that is kicking a ball. When we kick a football, we also apply a force on a football. The football also acts on a force to our feet. So what action and reaction happening here? So the ball will accelerate when we kick the ball. No other force has been applied to the ball, only whatever the force we apply by our feet. So no reaction force is not acting on the ball. Kick it into another player leg, you get a reaction. You cannot cancel the action force on the ball with your foot greater than the ball is banging into your shoes with equal forces. So this is also one example of Newton's third law. Another one, head bumps ball, ball also bumps head. So two forces here, that arrow sign also be there. As your head also exert one force to the football, ball also exert one force. So that is, one is action, another one is a reaction. But these two are opposite direction but not cancel each other, because these two are acts on a different body. On one is a head and the one is on the ball. These two are not cancel each other. Hand touches glove, glove touches hand. That means hand apply one force on the glove, so glove also apply one force to the hand. Same here, boy kicks a ball, ball kicks boy. Athlete pushes a bar up, so bar pushes down on athlete. That's why when we apply a force to push up, and due to this reaction we push down. That means bar push down on athlete. Ball hits bat, bat also hits ball. That's why ball will displace. Chakka, sixer. Now some important points about the third law of motion. First point, Newton's third law of motion is applicable irrespective of nature of forces. That means the forces of action and reaction may be mechanical, gravitational, electric, or may any other nature of the forces. Second point, action and reaction always act on different bodies. It is a very, very, very important point. You keep it in your mind. This action and reaction always act on different bodies, different mass. If they acted on the same body, then the resultant force would be zero, and there could be no accelerated motion, because they apply on a different body. That's why we cannot write these two forces are cancel each other. These two are equal and opposite direction, but not cancel each other, because these two are act on the different bodies or different mass. Third point, the forces of action and reaction cannot cancel each other. This is because action and reaction, though equal and opposite, always act on a different bodies, so cannot balance each other. So action can, fourth number, no action can occur in the absence of a reaction. That is a point. Forces does not exist in a single, always exist as a pair. If there is a no action, then reaction also be 0. So it is not happening. There is a reaction, action is there but no reaction. It is not happening. For example, in a tug of war, one team pull the rope only if the other team pulling the other end of the rope. Otherwise, it will not move. No force can be exerted if the other end is free. No one team exerts the force of action, other team provides a force of reaction. That means force always exists as a pair. So these are the most important point for the third law of motion. Mainly second, third and fourth point is a very important point. You keep it in your mind. Action and reaction always act on a different bodies, and that's why they will not balance each other, and that's why we cannot say that these two forces are cancel each other. These two are equal, opposite direction, but they will not cancel each other because they act on a different masses, different bodies. Action equals reaction. The two teddy bears is there. One teddy bear exert one force, suppose A and B. So B also exert the same force on A, but not cancel each other. If an object exert a force on another object, the second object always exert a equal force. An object can make a reaction force no greater than the action force. It is always a equal, but in a opposite direction. I hope it is clear to everyone, and you know little bit about little bit things. This is the new, that is the main topic here. You conclude that will be the action and reaction takes place in a different bodies or different masses, and they cannot be cancel out each other. This are the two main points from this today's topic, or from this Newton's third law. We have to keep it in your mind. I hope it is clear to everyone. If we have any problem, then you just text or message in a comment box. And down the next video, it is a very interesting video. We discuss about the free body diagram, and it is a new topic for everyone. So please, first of all, you have to clear your concept about first law, second law, third law, because in free body diagram we apply these three laws together. First law also inertial frame, non-inertial frame, second law acceleration force, third law action reaction. All these forces we apply together in a free body diagram. So you first clear your doubts about first law, second law and third law. So next video is very interesting video. We studied about the free body diagram, how we draw free body diagram, and we also solve some numericals. So have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay in your home. Tata. Bye bye.